අති ගෞරවනීය පූජනීය මහා සංඝ රත්නයන් අවසරයි. Most Venerable Maha Sangha, His Excellency Rodney Perera, our ambassador to the United States, and our friends. So I would like to say in English and Sinhalese few words of the purpose of this idea. So this is a pilot project with the support of the Nayakateras from the United States. We have been discussing for now 6-7 months, and then we have implemented several important initiatives. So the first, we have to introduce ourselves and then say few words in support of this idea. So my name is Visitha Lilaratna. I am the person who will be coordinating the first project to teach Metta Bhavana and the benefits of mindfulness to the Buddhist monks in Sri Lanka and other parts. We have invited a special teacher with years of experience, Bhante Kovida, whom I know for over 8 years in Ottawa, and of course Hin Bunne Kondanja Nayakatera I have known for over 30 years from New York, as well as Bhante Kottave Nandatera since last year. He came to Vasak in Ottawa, as well as Katugastu Partantera and many other monks who joined with us. So Bhante Sorata requested that we will extend this idea again. So that's where we are at. So I would ask Bhante Kondanja to explain the purpose and the idea, and then we will invite our ambassador Rodney Perera to say a few words as well. And then Bhante Kovida will conduct the benefits of mindfulness in English. And on Monday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., Bhante Kondanja and other Bhantes will explain in Sinhalese. We hope to have at least 4 sessions. That will be like a half a day session on this pilot project. Then at the last, all the Bhantes will be able to say Metta Bhavana in English. That is, we hope. Thank you. Avasarai Swamin Mahansa. Bhante Kondanja will now explain the idea.
Mameka Singaling Canada. Good morning, Venerable Kovida, and good morning, Venerable Sangha members. With the permission of Venerable Kovida, I like to explain things in Sinhala to these Venerable monks who gather here today. Okay? So, Purihamane, Purihamru Nemating, Api Purihamru Kiwatame, Api Hamru Kauru, Lokloku Hamru, me Vadagat Sevavan within Adahasakare Makadapi, Api Podda me Ekatuela. අපේ හාමුදුරුවෝ ලංකාවේ අපිට පෙනෙනවා අපි මේ ඈත් නම් බලා ඉන්නකොට පේන දේවලුත් තියෙනවා. මේ විවිධ දේවල් දිහා බලාගෙන හිටපුවාම අපිට පරිහානික ලක්ෂණ ගොඩක් අපි දැකලා ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන් අපි යම් පියවර කොහොමද අපි ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්නේ. તો වහන්සේලා ලංකාවේ විද්‍යාලවල පිරිවෙන් වල ආචාර්යවරුන් හැටියට ඉගැන්වීමේදලා ඉන්නකොට මම හිතන්නේ අපිට වගේම හිතුවිලි පහළ වෙනවා ඇති දකිනවා ඇති මොකද මේ අපේ රටේ වෙන්නේ අපේ රටට වෙන්නේ මොකද්ද කියලා. එහෙමත් හිතන අපටත් එහෙම හිතෙනවා. ඔයාමලුට එහෙම හිතනවා දන්නේ නැහැ සමහර වෙලාවට විවිධ දේවල් ජාත්‍යන්තරයේ ඉඳගෙන පේනකොට අපි ඉතින් කල්පනා කරනවා මොකද්ද මේකට කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. අපෙන් කරන්න පුළුවන් දේ කුමක්ද කියලා. ඉතින් ඇත්තටම කියනවා මේ වර්තමානයේ යන කාල පරිච්ඡේදයේ ඉතාමත් හොඳ අවස්ථාවක් මේ ධර්මයේ ලෝකෙට දෙන්න ලෝකෙට ඕන වෙන වෙලාවක් වෙලා තියෙනවා. හදිස් තත්ත්ව නිසා නෙමෙයි. නමුත් මේ මිනිස්සු මේ වගේ ප්‍රහාරයක් ඇති වුණු වෙලාවක තමයි ආබාධයක් ඇති වුණු වෙලාවේ තමයි මේ ජීවිතේ මොකක්ද කියලා හිතන වෙලාව. දැන් උදාහරණයක් මම කියන්නම්. එහෙම අවස්ථා 3ක් තියෙනවා මේ මේක හතරවෙනි අවස්ථාව. එකක් තමයි මේ ඇමරිකාවේ සිද්ධ වුණු අර මේ වෙළඳ මධ්‍යස්ථානයේ පහර දීපු වෙලාවේ මහා කම්පනයක් ඇති වුණා මේ ජීවිතේ මෙහෙමද කියලා. මේ මිනිස්සු කවදාකවත් එහෙම හිතුව දෙයක් නෙමෙයිනේ. මම උදාහරණයක් ගන්න මේ මා ඉන්න වටපිටාවේ තියෙන තිබුණු දේවල් සම්බන්ධයෙන්. එතකොට සමහර මිනිස්සු හරි බය වුණා. කුස ගොඩනැගිලි වලින් ඉඳගෙන වැඩ කරන්න. ඉතින් මම මේ භාවනා කරන්න යන මිනිස්සුෙකුට මේ කතන්දරේ කියපුවාම එයා කිව්වේ උඹට හොඳට විශ්වාස ආපහු ගහන්න නැහැ කියලා අපිට. මම කොහොම කියලා. ඉතින් ඒක කොහොමද එහෙම කියන්නේ කියලා. ඒක අපිට පේන දෙයක් කිව්වා. ඉතින් මේ සාමාන්‍ය ඕන මිනිස්සුෙකුට තේරෙනානේ මේ වගේ මේ එකක් අහලා ඊට පස්සේ තව දවස් දෙකකින් තුනකින් ආපහු එකක් ගහන්නේ නැහැ වදන කියලා. ඉතින් එච්චර කම්පැනියකටපත් වෙච්ච මිනිස්සු ඔය දේත් එහෙමවත් හිතන්න පුළුවන් හයියක් නැති මිනිස්සු ඉන්නවා සමහරවිට. මේ ලෝකයේ මේක තමයි ලෝකය කියලා හිතාගෙන හිටපු මිනිස්සු ඉන්නවා. ඉතින් ඒ නිසා මේ මිනිස්සු මේ ජීවිතය පිළිබඳ හිතලා තිබුණේ නැහැ. මහා කම්පනයක්, මහා වික්ෂිප්ත භාවයක් ඇති වුණා. ඊට පස්සේ ඒ වගේ තව අවස්ථාවක් ඇති වෙන දෙවෙනි අවස්ථාව තමයි අපේ රටේ අපේ පළාතේ ඇති වෙච්ච සුනාමිය. සුනාමිය දැක්ක ගමන් ඒ ව්‍යසනය දැක්කම මිනිස්සු හිතන්න පටන් ගත්තා. අනේ ජීවිතේ මෙච්චර මේ වගේ දෙයක්ද? මේ හිටපු මොහොතක මහා ජලගැල්මකින් මහා විශාල දාස් ගානක් මිනිසුන් විනාශයට පත් වෙන දැකලා හරියට මිනිස්සු ඇඬුවා මෙහෙ. කම්පා වුණා මෙහෙ. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ ඒ දෙවෙනි අවස්ථාව. ඊට පස්සේ මෙහෙ තව එකක් තිබුණා. කවදාකවත් වෙච්ච නැති දෙයක් පැය ගානක විදුලි විසන්දීමක් සිද්ධ වුණා. අන්ධකාරයේ හිටියා. බින්ගවල කෝට්ටි වල හිර වෙන මිනිස්සු හිටියා. මිනිස්සු අඬන්න පටන් ගත්තා. ඔන්න ඔය සිද්ධීන් තුන මුල් කරගෙන මහා විපර්යාසයක් ඇති වුණා. ඒ කාලේ අපිට සත පහකට අපිව ගණන් ගත්තේ නැහැ මේ මිනිස්සු. මේ සිවුරක් කෙනෙක් දැනගෙන හිටියේ නැහැ. අර මේ ලෝක වෙළඳ පොලේට ගහලා ඒ වෙනුවෙන් මේ කොමලා ඒකෙන් කම්පයිලා ඔක්කොටම ආරාධනා කරලා තිබුණා මේ පන්සුකුලයක් වගේ සර්විස් එකක්. ඒකට මේ බෞද්ධ භික්ෂුන් වහන්සේලා ආරාධනා කරේ නැහැ. අපිට අපේ මිනිස්සු ඈත කැලිෆෝනියාවේ ඉඳගෙන කතා කරලා අපිට බයින්න පටන් ගත්තා. ඇයි ඔබ වහන්සේලා ගියේ නැත්තේ? අපි ගියේ නැතුව නෙමෙයි. අපිව එකතු කරගත්තේ නැහැ. හැබැයි ඊට පස්සේ අපි විරෝධයක් ආවා මෙහි නගරාධිපතිතුමාට ප්‍රකාශ කරපුවම ඇයි අපි මෙහෙම කරේ නැත්නම් මේ විදිය අපිත් මේකේ ඉන්න ඕනේ අපිත් මෙහෙ ඉන්නවා. මේ බුද්දිස් කවුන්සිල් එක මෙහෙම තියනවා කියලා අපි එහෙම ප්‍රකාශ කරාට පස්සේ තමයි ඊට පස්සේ කට්ටිය ඉතින් ඒක අපි පසුව තේරුම් ගත්තා මොකද්ද වෙලා තියෙන්නේ සමහර පිරිසක් අපිව ඉන්නවට විරෝධය. මේ මිනිස්සු මේ වැරදි අවබෝධයමයි හිටියේ. ඉතින් ඔය වගේ දේවල් වලින් තමයි පොඩ මෙහි තත්ත්වය වෙනස් වුනේ. මේ මිනිස්සු අපි ඉස්සරම කාලේ කෝච්චි එක යනකොට මිනිස්සු අපි දැක්කම බය හිතනවා. බයෙන් බලනවා. ඊට පස්සේ මොකද වෙන්නේ? දැනට බලපුවාම අඩුම තරමින් 5%ක්වත් ප්‍රමාණය අපි දැක්කම hina වෙලා දෑත් එකතු කරලා ආචාර කරනවා මේ විදියට. ඉතින් ඒ වෙනස සිද්ධ වුණේ ඔය කම්පන වලින්. ඒතකොට මේ දැන් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන කම්පනය ඉතාමත් ප්‍රබල කම්පනයක්. ජීවිත අස්තිරභාවය පේනවා. පිස්සු මිනිස්සු ඉන්නවා මේ තරුණ ළමයි අනවශ්‍ය විදිහට වැඩ කරනවා. ඒ වගේ දේවල් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඔහෙත් තියෙනවනේ එහෙම. ඒ වගේ මෙහෙ තියෙනවා මහා කම්පන. හැබැයි මේ කම්පනියත් එක්ක ආපහු වෙනවා මොකද්ද මේ ජීවිතය කෙනෙක් හොයාගෙන එන මිනිස්සු ඉන්නවා. ආන්නේ ජීවිතේ හොයන මිනිස්සුන්ට යමක් කියලා දීමේ හැකියාව හැකියාවන් තමයි අපි හදා ගන්න ඕනේ. අපි ਸਰව සම්පූර්ණයි කියනවා නෙමෙයි අපේ හැකියාව තියෙනවා. අපි යම් විදියකින් යමක් කියලා දීමේ තේරුම් කර දීමේ හැකියාව තියෙනවා. ඉතින් මේ ඒ විදියට මුළු ලෝකෙම දැන් බලන්නකො මේක මුළු ලෝකෙටම මේක පොදු වෙලානේ තියෙන්නේ. අගමැතිවරු කියලා බේරුනේ නැහැ. නේ? ජනපතිවරු කියලා බේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. නේද? දුප්පතා කියලා බේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. ගැහණු කියලා බේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. පිරිමි කියලා බේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. මේ හරියට පැවිදි පක්ෂයේ මේ ප්‍රීස්ලා හරියට නැති වුණා. මෙහි අය. ඉතින් මේක මේ තේරුම් නොගැනීමේ తত্ত্বය. ඉතින් ඒ නිසා මේක හැමෝටම පොදුවේ බලපාන මේ වසංගතයක් නෙමෙයි ඇති වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. මේකෙන් පස්සේ අයිත් රැල්ලක් එනවා. මේක ජීවිතේ හොයාගෙන යන පිරිසක් එනවා. ඉතින් ඒ නිසා අපි මේ කියන්නේ ඒ අවශ්‍යතාවය එහෙම තියෙනවා. ලෝකෙටම අවශ්‍යතාවය එන වෙලාව. අපිට මේ තියෙන දේ වටිනාකම අපිට නොපෙනෙනවා වෙන්න පුළුවන්. නමුත් මේක ලෝකෙට අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා. අපිට මේ ධර්මයෙන් තමයි මේක මේ බොහෝ දෙනා කල්පනා කරන බුදුහාමගේ දහම හරි ප්‍රයෝජනවත් මේක ජීවිතේ තේරුම් ගන්න කියන එක. ඒ ප්‍රවණතාවය දැන් හිමින් වැඩිගෙන ලෝකෙම. ඒ නිසා මේ අද නෙමෙයි අපි සූදානම් විය යුතු තිබුණේ මේ බොහොම කලින්. නමුත් අඩුම තරමේ අපි අදටවත් මේක පෙනිලා අපිට පුළුවන් නම් මේක තේරුම් අරගෙන යම්කිසි ක්‍රියාවලියකටපත් වෙලා අපි ශක්තිමත් වෙන්න දැනුමේ අපේ ප්‍රකාශන ශක්තියෙන් අන්නේ හැකියාව දියුණු කරගන්න ඕනේ කියන එක තමයි ඒක ඒ අවශ්‍යතාවයක් තියෙනවා කියන එකත් ඒ අපි ඒ ටික කොහොමද ගොනු කරගන්නේ කියන එක සාකච්ඡා කිරීම තමයි මගේ අරමුණ උනේ මේ රැස්වීමට පැමිණීම. ඉතින් අපි ඒ ටික ශ්‍රී ලාංකික භික්ෂුන් වහන්සේලා හැටියට අපි කවුරුත් එක්ක හිතලා බලමු. බෞද්ධ භික්ෂුන් වහන්සේලා අපි කොහොමද යමක් කරලා දෙන්නේ කියලා. ඒක අපි ඒක ශක්තිමත් වෙන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා හිතලා බලන්න අපි හැමදෙනාම සාකච්ඡා කරමු. ඉතින් අපි මේ වෙලාවේ මේ කෝවිද හාමුදුරුවෝ භාවනා බොහොම අපි විශ්න මහත්තයා බොහොම දන්නවා ඒ හාමුදුරුවෝ ගැන. ඉතින් ඒ හාමුදුරුවන්ගෙන් උපකාරයක් අරගෙන ඒ හාමුදුරුවෝ මේ ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් අපිට මෛත්‍රී භාවනා කරන්න හැටි උගන්වන්න කියලා තමයි මේ යෝජනා කරගෙන තිබුණේ. ඉතින් ඒකට භාෂා කුසලතාවය අපි හදා ගන්න ඕනේ. ඉතින් ඒක නැති අපේ හැමදෙනාටම කියනවනේ ඔබ. අපි හැමදෙනාම ඉංග්‍රීසි ඉගෙන ගන්නවනේ නේද? ඉතින් ඉගෙන ගත්ත දේ කොහොමද මේ ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න කියන එක තමයි. ඒ අවස්ථාවල් නැති එකනේ මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙන්නේ. හැබැයි ඉතින් මේක හිතෙන් හිතාගත්තොත් කරන්න පුළුවන්. හිතෙන් අදිෂ්ඨාන කරගත්තොත් කොහොම හරි අපිට මේක දියුණු කරගෙන ඒකින් යමක් අපේ මේ පැවිදි වීමේ අරමුණක් ඒ වගේම අපේ දහම් දැනුමත් ඒකින් අපි සේවාවක් අපේ අයට එපා නම් ඒක අවශ්‍ය කෙනෙකුට කරලා දෙන්නේ කොහොමද කියන එක හිතලා බලන්න බොහොම වටිනවා. ඉතින් ඒක අපි සාකච්ඡා කරමු. දැනට මම හිතන්නේ අපි ඊළඟට මේ කෝවිද හාමුදුරන්ගෙන් ඒ හාමුදුරන්ගේ පන්තියේ ඒ හාමුදුරන්ගේ වචන මොකක් හරි උගන්වන දේ අපි ඉගෙනගෙන ඒකේ අපිට ප්‍රයෝජනවත් ආකාරය ප්‍රයෝජනවත් වෙන්නේ කොහොමද කියන එක ප්‍රයෝජනවත් කරගන්නේ කොහොමද කියන එක හිතලා බලමු කියලා මම යෝජනා කළා. මගේ වචන කීපෙ මෙන් නතර කරනවා. එහෙනම්
අවසරයි අපේ හින් බුද්දේ කොන්නංජ නායකතර. Thank you very much, Bhante. So I agree with Bhante's idea. To say a few words about Bhante Kovida. Bhante Kovida is a student of Most Venerable Balangoda Ananda Maitri Thera and also educated in Thailand. So today we will know Bhante Kovida has been traveling all over the world and all the information in the Facebook, and we will get to know more information in the future. And then after the teachings of Bhante Kovida about benefits of mindfulness, which we all will benefit. And before we start, we will request I have the honor to invite the Ambassador Rodney Perera to say some words in English and Sinhalese in support of this program. And then Bhante Kovida will start, and after that Bhante Kottave Nanda Thero and Kattugaswa Prathara and other Bhantes will say a few words. We can go a little more than 1 hour. There's no problem. I will accommodate that. So I now invite His Excellency our Ambassador Rodney Perera to say a few words. After that, Bhante Kovida will teach us the benefits of mindfulness and metta bhavana. Thank you.
Hi, Paul. Thank you very much for inviting me for this program. Venerable Mahasangha, Bhante Kovida, thank you all for your service to the Buddhist communities throughout the world. I think it is a very important task our Venerable monks are performing. We in the embassies, we get paid. We have a lot of facilities, but I know our temples have to work with the community to service the needs of the people. And at a time like this, it is even more important because there is a lot of focus on the physical well-being, but we really need the mindset to be in a very positive environment, because we are going into a area where no one really knows the impact of the present day environment. So the tasks performed by our venerable monks, our temples, is even that much more important at a time like this. In our Sinhalese tradition, when we greet someone, we always say "Ayubowan," and I think today this greeting is becoming universal. I'm educating a lot of people, even in my day-to-day work environment. The true meaning of Ayubowan, may you have a long life, and I think this is the wish of every individual today when they are faced with this terrible pandemic. The other phrase that has become very relevant to us every day is Arogya Paramalabha, the words of the Gautama Buddha, that health is the ultimate benefit. And I think this is what we are all struggling. World leaders, medical professionals, hospitals, everybody is trying to give the general public the best health possible. So going back to our traditions and what we are faced with the challenges today is that much more important. So let us join hands, continue to propagate the teachings of the Great One, and get more people to be involved and find new ways of teaching people, trying to draw relevance to the eternal message which started more than 2,000 years ago to today and tomorrow. Because as I keep stressing, it is very important to look at the mindset of people. There are many people who are losing jobs, who are having difficulties in finding accommodation, food, and this is everywhere. It's you see long lines of people coming for food and other facilities. And I was privileged to join a program hosted by Venerable Katukasthara Uparatnanayaka Thero to help the people in the area, and we can see how difficult it is. So even in the United States, the most economically powerful country in the world, conditions are not that good for a lot of people. So we have to help our brothers and sisters in the United States and also back home in Sri Lanka and also in other countries. And these are important acts, meritorious acts. I think our Buddhist temples have always been performing, and that is why I have in my heart a special place for the Venerable Mahasangha, who continue to service the community and very importantly bring children together. The Daham Pasal or the school to teach the Dhamma is something that's of paramount importance, because tomorrow's generation need to have the proper foundation of the teachings of the Buddha so that they can go forward and work as responsible and dedicated, respectful individuals. So these are important aspects that we all can work together. Today happens to be my very last day in public service. I am retiring after 32 years of being a diplomat. And I will still have time to dedicate to important programs like this. So Mr. Leelaratha, thank you very much. You're always sending important messages, giving us an idea of activities in our community, in our Asian community, in our Buddhist community. So please continue to do that, and I'll be able to help in whatever way I can to bring people together, to carry this message to the greater world citizen public, so that they understand the value of the true meaning and message of Buddhism. Garutar Mahasangratne mama වහන්සේලාගේ සේවය අගය කරන මම හැම විටම පවසන්නේ වහන්සේලාගේ කැපවීමෙන් කරන මේ සේවය විශේෂයෙන්ම ආධ්‍යාත්මික පැත්තෙන් ඉතාමත්ම වැදගත් වෙනවා. අපි භෞතික ජීවිතය ගැන කල්පනා කෙරුවත් මෙවැනි වසංගතයක් තියෙන අවස්ථාවක අපිට ගොඩක් අයට අමතක වෙලා තියෙන දෙයක් තමයි මානසික සුවය, මානසික ඒකාග්‍රතාවය මේ පවත්වගෙන යන්නට නම් ධර්මයෙන් මං හිතන්නේ ඉතාමත්ම වැදගත් රුකුලක් වෙනවා. ඉතින් වහන්සේලාගේ පන්සල් වල වැඩ කටයුතු දිගින් දිගටම හොඳින් කරගෙන යන්නට මගේ සහයෝගය මා ලබා දෙන්නට කැමැතියි. මම දැන් රජයේ සේවයේ අවුරුදු 32කට පස්සේ විශ්‍රාම ගියත් අපේ බෞද්ධ ජනතාව ඇමරිකාව වගේ රටක අපි ආඩම්බර වෙන්න ඕනේ. අපේ පන්සල් විශාල ප්‍රමාණයක් ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා. එමගින් අපේ මම වඩාත්ම කැමති වෙන්නේ අපේ කුඩා දූ දරුවන්ට ඒ ලබා දෙන දහම් පාසල් සේවය ඒ ඉතාමත්ම වැදගත් යහපත් පරපුරක් බිහි කිරීමේ පළමු අඩිතාලම වන්නේ මේ අපේ ඊළඟ පරම්පරාවට අවශ්‍ය සාරධර්ම ක්‍රියාදීම. ඉතින් මෙවැනි වැඩසටහන අපේ ඊළාරත්න මහත්තයාටත් මම ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා. මෙවැනි වැඩසටහන නිරන්තරයෙන්ම එතුමා සම්බන්ධීකරණය කරලා මේ අවස්ථාව ලබා දෙනවා. ඒකට අපි සියලු දෙනාටම හැකි වෙනවා මේ පණිවිඩය දිගින් දිගටම ප්‍රචාරය කළා අපේ අර නෙට්වර්කින් කියන අපේ සම්බන්ධීකරණය තවත් ඇති කරලා අපේ ප්‍රජාවටත් අපේ ආසියානු බෞද්ධ ප්‍රජාවටත් තවත් මහඟු සේවයක් ලබා දීමට. ඒ නිසා මේ අද වැඩසටහන සාර්ථක කිරීමට සියලු දෙනාටම දායක වීම පිළිබඳව මම නැවත වතාවක් ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා. ආයුබෝවන්.
එහෙනම් ඔබතුමාට තෙරුවන් සරණයි.
Everyone Saranai. Thank you very much, His Excellency Rodney Perera, the ambassador from Sri Lanka to the United States. Now, we also wish the ambassador's future activities and hope I will have a discussion and invite to be one of our Buddhist ambassador to the world, because we are looking the Buddhist embassy for the ambassador. So you will be one of the very good candidates and one of the first to appoint, hopefully, with our Mahasangha Ratna will support this type of continuation. And also to point very quickly, few things that we started and your continued support, we will never forget, from the Vesak online celebration to Posong and so forth. We have started teaching Chinese language to the Buddhist monks in Kotegoda. So they know about 400-500 words so far from Dr. Hau Mei Win. So this is the picture of the temple that they have attended. Now, we will be also continue to teach English for this Kotegoda temple and the monks from Oman. Online Buddhist temple, in 10 minutes we got about 300 links or our connections filled. So it was about, I think, over 500 people attended. So the ideas are growing. Now I cannot handle much alone, so that's why we need support to grow this idea. So this is a new initiative we are starting. So I would invite, and after that we can continue a little longer today. And then also we can wish and we can ask our Buddhist monks to do a small chanting for our ambassador Rodney Perera at the end of the program. So Bhante Kovida is waiting patiently, and so Bhante will teach now in English benefits of mindfulness and Metta Bhavana, so we can all participate for about a good 15-20 minutes or so, and then we'll give opportunity to everyone to talk and explain. Thank you very much. So now Bhante Kovida will start the program.
Okay, thank you. Greetings everyone. Ayubowan, namaskar, namaste to everyone. Actually, during this current pandemic, the practice of mindfulness, satipatthana, is more and more important, relevant, in order to deal, with stress, worry, anxiety, fear, frustration, and so on. And there are different types of mindfulness, not just sitting, anapanasati bhavana. There's walking, movement. I do qigong movements. It's very simple and it's very good for stress. Unfortunately, we have videos on YouTube, so these practices are easily accessible. And believe it or not, 3.5 years ago, 2017, I was invited to Sri Lanka by the health department in Anuradhapura and Colombo to conduct classes in mindfulness, satipatthana. And the people appreciated it very much because I showed them that satipatthana practice, mindfulness, is very simple actually. Because, most Sri Lankans, they think that, you mentioned the word bhavana, and they think, "Ayo, it's so difficult. You have to sit long hours, with your eyes closed, and you have painful legs, painful back." So they see bhavana as something very difficult, very painful, that only monks in the forest should be practicing. But when I showed them that these practices are very simple and very useful in daily life, then they could really appreciate it. And everywhere I go, I teach mindfulness practices to deal with stress. So even before the pandemic, people are always dealing with stress. You cannot escape from stress. And the Buddha, before he passed away, he reminded the people that it's only through the practice of mindfulness, the satipatthana, the four foundations of mindfulness, that we can overcome dukkha, mental, emotional suffering and conflict. And also, when we practice mindfulness on a daily basis, we can become more self-sufficient. He said, you cannot depend on teachers because no one is permanent. No teacher is permanent. Because you can imagine, before he passed away, the monks and lay devotees who were not mature in their practice and Dhamma understanding, they were still very upset and crying and pleading with the Buddha not to leave them, not to leave them. He said, all things are impermanent. Even this physical body is impermanent. But if you practice satipatthana, mindfulness practices, then you can be more self-sufficient. He said, you have to be an island unto yourself. You have to be a light unto yourself. So then you depend on your own mindfulness and your own wisdom and right effort. So I'll just do a reading here. It says, mindfulness is a skillful way of relating to and connecting to life and daily experience. It is paying attention on purpose in the present moment and in a non-judgmental way. It is a way of being, and it takes practice. It is calm attention to what is happening from moment to moment without discrimination or criticism. It is the observing power of the mind that sees without desire or aversion, liking or disliking, or delusional reaction. It is therefore a wholesome way of seeing what is happening in the present moment. Mindful breathing brings the mind home to the body. You begin to experience calmness, a sense of well-being and quiet joy. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. This helps our concentration and focus, and we begin to appreciate the fact of being alive instead of being distracted and confused by compulsive thinking. Mindful breathing can help us also to stop thinking about the past with regret and guilt, and stop thinking about the future with anxiety, fear, and uncertainty. We're able to experience tranquility and stillness, which is most beneficial and precious in our busy and stressful lives. Mindful walking helps us to be in the present moment, and we can appreciate the beauty of the environment. We can stop and smell the roses and appreciate the joy of just being alive. Mindful cleaning, washing, and cooking helps us to enjoy doing these activities instead of being in a hurry to finish them so that we can do other things. Present moment, wonderful moment. With mindfulness and calm focus, we can deal with our own suffering or anxiety, fear, and worry, frustration, irritation, anger, resentment, sadness, and sorrow. You can embrace your mental, emotional upset and take care of it with compassion, kind acceptance, and patience. Mindfulness has the power to heal past traumas and conflicts because it is a state of non-duality. And so one is able to objectify these things and see things without identifying with them and let them go. Mindfulness also helps us not to react to unpleasant words and situations, and not to take things so personally. A great deal of our mental energy is caught up in our habitual reactions. It is our reactions which make us burn out, which throws us off balance and causes us suffering and dis-ease. Things get better in our lives when we react less and less. We can remain calm and patient, wise, strong, and secure. Then we can respond in a beneficial way and be helpful to others. This is why the Buddha gave a very radical teaching when he said, when you see, just see. When you hear, just hear. Our basic problem in life is that we take things too personally, even things that are not directly related to us. This is an aspect of ignorance and delusion. Mindfulness is much more than you think. Okay? So I'll be speaking soon about the nature of non-duality, because this is very important. And this is why now they're using mindfulness in modern psychotherapy, and it's called mindfulness-based psychotherapy. Our lives are not determined by what happens to us, but by how we react to what happens. Not by what life brings to us, but by our attitude we bring to life. The world is as it is. It is constantly changing and uncertain. A calm and positive attitude causes a chain reaction of positive thoughts, events, and outcomes. It is a catalyst, a spark that creates extraordinary and surprising results. Events do not cause us suffering. They may cause us physical discomfort or some inconvenience or delay. It is our emotional, mental reaction to those events that cause us suffering, upset, anger, frustration, anxiety, and despair. Without mindfulness, we are enslaved and deluded by mental activity, by too much thinking. This is a source of dukkha, mental emotional disturbance. We believe that to follow our impulses and satisfy our desires and expectation is freedom. This is an illusion. In fact, we are slaves to craving, clinging, frustration, fear, and despair. In mindfulness, one is not only restful, calm, and happy, but alert and awake. Meditation is not an evasion or escape. It is a clear and serene encounter with reality. The secret of life is revealed when we're living in harmony with the changes and motions of life, when we're not constantly struggling to change what is. Patience and acceptance are the key to peace, compassion, wisdom, and freedom. With mindfulness, we can skillfully deal with our thoughts and emotions. With objective awareness of our mental landscape, we can see thoughts as just thoughts, feelings as just feelings, moods and emotions as just moods and emotions. We can see and understand their impermanent, changing, and uncertain nature, and can therefore let them go, thus freeing the mind of suffering and dis-ease, of dukkha. Now, one of the great benefits of mindfulness is that it is a state of non-duality. So we can see things more objectively. Now, what does that mean? It means that there is no I, no me, who's actually being mindful. There's no I who's actually being aware. There's only that energy of attention. Now, initially, we don't see this because we use language and we're always, we say, I am seeing something, I'm hearing something, I'm smelling something, I'm tasting, I'm touching something, and of course, I'm thinking something. So our minds are always caught in duality. Duality means subject and object. But when we practice mindfulness, we begin to see things as they are. There's no I. There's no I there. For example, normally say if we get upset, we say, I am upset, right? Or I'm angry, or I'm bored, or I'm lonely, like this. Because that is our normal use of language. But with the practice of mindfulness, we're able to see upset as just upset. And we can say, there is upset, or there is anger, or there's a state of anger, there is fear. You see it as it is. It's a very beneficial practice. Instead of saying, I'm upset, I am angry, I'm afraid, I'm frustrated. We just see frustration as just frustration, fear as just fear, even desire. Normally, we say, I want something, or I must have something. So we identify with that desire, with the I. But with mindfulness, we can see that there is desire, or there's a state of craving. And then we remind ourselves, it is anicca, it is impermanent. It is only a temporary mental state, a changing condition of the mind. And then we come back to present moment mindfulness. So there's breathing, walking, some type of movement, hand movements, and so on. And naturally, we let go. We let go of the mental, emotional state. So this is how they're teaching mindfulness now in modern psychotherapy, mindfulness-based psychotherapy. We're able to see something as it is and know it is impermanent, and we learn to let go of these mental, emotional states. It's a very, very beneficial practice. And of course, during the current pandemic, as you know, there's a lot of fear, anxiety, frustration, worry, about the future, the uncertainty. And the more we think about the future, of course, we experience more anxiety, more frustration. Because what is really causing the fear, the anxiety, the frustration is really when we think too much about the future. And of course, the power of the imagination. We always imagine the worst. We call it the worst case scenarios. And most of the things that we imagine, this might happen, that might happen, are really just imagination. And even if things happen the way you imagine them, somehow we're able to deal with them in a very sensible and wise way. So mindfulness gives us that strength, that patience, a more stable form of attention, so we can act more sensibly, more calmly, and of course, more patiently. Patience is very important, being patient. And of course, in the current pandemic situation, we have to be very patient. And by doing that, we have to learn how to be more in the present moment. Because the moment we project in the future, naturally we experience anxiety, worry, fear, frustration, and so on. So this is one of the great benefits of mindfulness. And then in the Qigong video, if you go to YouTube, it's called Qigong with Bhante Kovida. It really helps people to deal with mental, emotional stress, frustration, anger, irritation, and so on, because you're moving with mindfulness. So this is called dynamic mindfulness, just like dynamic walking, mindful walking, dynamic walking. So these practices are very beneficial. So when I showed the people in Anuradhapura, in the health department, in the hospital, in the nursing college, and in a few of the hospitals, they appreciated these very much. And then with Metta Bhavana, of course, you're sending positive thoughts which create positive feelings. And it's also very good for fear, any negativity you may have, towards somebody. And also when we're dealing with guilt, and guilt is a universal problem because of the judgmental mind. And of course, when we make mistakes, we're very critical of ourselves and we start feeling guilty. So this is why the benefits of metta bhavana is so beneficial, because by doing metta bhavana, we're replacing those negative judgmental thoughts with kind, positive thoughts. Because the truth is, as human beings, no one is perfect. So it is natural to make mistakes. So when we do make mistakes, it's beneficial that we have to forgive ourselves, because we're human. And being human, no one is perfect. So you can say it is perfectly natural to make mistakes. And so the practice of metta is very beneficial. And also because when we are suffering from guilt, we have not only negative thoughts, blaming ourselves, criticizing ourselves, but we also create a negative image of ourselves. I'm so stupid, I'm so crazy, I'm so bad. Why did I do that? Why did I say that? I shouldn't have done this, etc., etc. Because that's the way our conditioned mind is. We're conditioned to judge, to criticize, to compare, to like, not to like, and so on and so forth. So in Metta Bhavana, as we said, we replace those negative judgmental thoughts with kind, positive thoughts. For example, you can say, may I be well, happy, and peaceful. May I be free from fear, conflict, and delusion. May my family and friends be well, happy, and peaceful. May my family and friends be free from fear, conflict, and delusion. And say if you're upset with somebody, you send that person loving, kind thoughts. May so-and-so be well, happy, and peaceful. May so-and-so be free from fear, conflict, and delusion. And then may all beings be well, happy, and peaceful. May all beings be free from fear, conflict, and delusion. So this is a very beneficial practice. And even doing it on a daily basis. And you can do it in the morning or in the evening before you go to bed. It's very, very positive. So we can overcome negativity, fear, conflict, frustration, and so on. So I offer this for your reflection for now. So may you all be well, happy, and peaceful.
Thank you, Bhante Kovida, for the reflection on Dhamma. And to add to Bhante Kovida's continuation of teachings in the world, every Friday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Canada, US Eastern Time, there will be more talks offered by Bhante, and we are planning to offer extra sessions. We would like to mention that Bhante Kovida was the one who invited to Ministry of Health Canada about, I think, 8 years, and the first Buddhist monk to come and teach stress relief and Dhamma talks. So it's I thank again for Bhante Kovida's support. Now, for the next hour or so, until we can request other Bhantes to say a few words, and I would like to invite Bhante Kottave Nanda Thera to say a few words to our audience today. Avasarai Swaminas.
Thank you very much, Mr. Visita Sri Leelaratna, as well as most venerable Nayaka Theros and Pandita Theros who are gathered here. I think it's this is like an orientation. So I think before we start our discussion, how would ambassador? So I think his staying is taking his time. How would all the monks get together and wish him, because he is retiring, and do we need him to wait in his keeping his time with us? What do you think?
No, let's give him a blessing, and so we can release him, and then we can start our discussion.
That is what I mentioned.
Yeah, Ambassador, thank you so much for your service to this country. I really appreciate your great honor you have, and I have experience working with you, and our community of the Sangha also, they know about him. And thank you so much, and we wish you long life, good health and success with having that thought. All the monks are making simple blessing and artificial spirit.
Yeah, you can lead it.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Tannankaro mahaviro me medankaro mahayaso saranankaro loka Dipankaro jutindaro kondanyo janapamoko mangalo purisasabo sumano dhiro revato rativaddhano sobito gunasampanno anomadasi padumo lokapajyoto narado varasarati padumuttaro sattasaro sumedo kapugalo Sujatu Sabalo Kago Piedasi Narasabo Atadasi Haruniko Dhammadasi Tamonudo Siddhato Asamolo Ketiso Vardasam Uso Vardasam Buddho Vipasi Anupamo Siki Sabbaito Sat Vesabu Sukadayako Kakusando Sattvaho Konagamano Rananjao Hasapo Siri Sampanno Gotamo Sakya Pungahote Sansachena Silena Kanti Metta Balena Chate Pitang Anurakan Arogyena Sukena Chate Sabbitiyo Vivajantu Sabbarogo Nasatu Mate Bhavattvantarayo Sukhi Digayuko Bhava. You may have good